Someone tell me when we're live.
We're live.
We are live, folks. It's Thursday. It is 8:30, and a very welcome back to all of you. I see a few of you logging on already. We had our Christmas break, and it was
Breakdown?
a welcome one of that. No, a break, Claire. Joining me this evening are, of course, familiar faces. We have Matt Boland, we have Claire Devaney, we have Dara Weston, and rejoining us, he has been on with us before, a former Leinster player, a former Ireland player, and a former British and Irish line. It is, of course, Shane Byrne. Shane, how the hell are you?
Very good. How's everybody? Happy New Year.
All good. Happy New Year, Shane.
Happy New Year to you, Shane. Happy New Year to you. Yes. Welcome. Shane, how was your festive break? Was it good? Was it relaxing? Was it all that sort of stuff?
No, it wasn't relaxing. It was great crack. Yeah, down in my hometown in Ockram, it's a good boozy time of year. A lot of cousins and relations to get to see. So yeah, including Christmas Day. So it was good fun. Had a lot of fun.
Good. And I ran into you randomly on Marion Street before Christmas.
Yeah. I know.
I ran into him randomly in the Aviva.
You can go nowhere, for God's sake.
You can go nowhere, Shane.
I ran into you at the Lions game outside the bridge.
I know. Oh my God! Yeah.
Oh, you see, Shane.
I was at the Aviva.
Yeah, no, remember that, Claire? Yes.
Yeah.
You can go nowhere.
I'm surprised because there were a few scoops in at that stage.
No, I would say a lot of scoops in at that stage.
A lot of scoops
I was being nice. I was being politically correct and nice.
All right. Okay.
It's only Dara hasn't bothered his arse to meet me anywhere out and about. You know what I mean? Like, what the hell?
It's not terrible.
I'll try harder. They say you should never meet your heroes, Shane. You know.
Yeah, that's true.
Well, I would actually attest to, yes, you should meet Shane because he's an absolute gentleman.
Yes, he is. Yeah.
You're all right, Peter. Okay. I'm already on. You don't have to be nice. You're all right.
and come here and do. Oh no, I better not say it. I'll say it to you when we're off live. Okay, now listen. Welcome all, and now one thing that was on. I don't think it was on the list actually, Shane. I want to ask you. The bookies came out with their predicted finishing positions for the 2026 Six Nations.
Yeah.
Now. Did you see it, Shane?
No, but
all right, okay. So what they have done, Shane, is they've said France are going to win it. England will be second, Ireland third, Scotland fourth, and surprisingly, not Wales finishing last. They have Wales finishing fifth and Italy finishing last. Would you agree with that, Shane, or what do you reckon?
Well, firstly, I certainly wouldn't agree with Italy being last.
Okay.
I don't think that's going to happen. I think they've made great strides, and they still are. And even in the November internationals, they've had some great results, as we all know. So I think they'll still beat Wales, and I think they could take a scalp as well. So anyway, that's not really what you're talking about. But yeah, look. It's one thing that's if there is such a thing, if you could be a neutral to enjoy the Six Nations, it's going to be an absolute cracker. It's going to be about, the French, English who we're talking about are in very, very good form. Ireland, I think these European games probably, will lead a little bit towards it. That hopefully form is starting to be found with some of the teams and will put a bit of confidence back in the Irish setup. I just feel that the November internationals were, they're okay. Obviously, we all know the game. It was very annoying. But we're still a team that we know if we can turn it on and get going. But the problem is we haven't got going in quite a while. We're just getting through games and. Yeah, the Six Nations is going to be, and the way they fall, like a Thursday game to start it away.
Oh, stop! I know,
absolutely crazy, typical bloody French. But it's going to be, that's the time to catch France if you're going to go after them. You know what I mean? if you're going to win over there, get them on an oddball day, and the first fixture to before they settle in, they're having their own injury issues and stuff like that, as are we. But you would, by form, you would go, that's the way. In fact, you could probably debate that England could be thereabouts ahead of France, but it's much of a muchness at the moment with the form guide, and Scotland as well. Like, listen, we all know that you take your eye off the ball there, and like they have the potential to have some cracking results as well. So all in all, listen, it's going to be a brilliant Six Nations. It's going to be it's really hard. It's the one for throwing the bet against the wind, because it's going to be very hard to call. Very, very hard.
I'm back in Wales. At 50-1 in Paddy Power, I'm putting a tenner on Wales to win it.
Yeah, great.
To win it.
You have disposable cash. That's great. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I would agree with you.
It's only a tenner I'm putting on. So when I win the 500 quid, I'll buy us all a pint.
Right.
Shane, I would tend to agree with your assertion about England. If England weren't playing, I think England are playing France in Paris, aren't they?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I would agree with you. I would say, excuse me, if England were playing in Twickenham, maybe, but I don't think England would beat France in Paris. Just my opinion. I just can't see them beating France in Paris.
Well, you see, the thing is with England, England always go through stages when they're starting to get become a good side, as we've always seen this, and part of their progress that they always seem to make is that when they have a good side and starting to go well, it's all about confidence. That we call it the English arrogance, whatever way you want to describe it, but that's all in the steps of, they always seem to make the same steps all the way up whenever they end up having a cracking team, and they're on that route as we speak. And the one thing is, it either gets knocked out of them in this Six Nations, or if they end up doing a roll and getting a momentum going, when they get confidence, they have enough of talent on that side that they could be absolutely lethal. And that's where they are. They're right in between at the moment. And a couple of things going their way early, although I think they're playing France early, aren't they? But either way, like, a couple of things going well for them early in the Six Nations, and they could be a really, really dominant side.
Yeah, okay. Fair point. Matt Boland, your thoughts on the rankings that the bookies have given the finishing places in the Six Nations, and what myself and Shane have just spoken about?
Yeah, well, I think based on current form, 1, 2, 3 are probably fairly accurate. But as we know, as Shane has pointed out, and rightly so, Ireland could just get it together and awaken that dormant side that we know that they are coming into the Six Nations, and take a scalp themselves. We're playing France first in Paris, and I think it was it 2 years ago, where the first Six Nations after the World Cup, we were playing them in Marseille, and we smacked them. So France are a bit like Ireland in terms of starting in the Six Nations. They tend not to start very well, and I think this is probably going to be an absolute belter of a game, where we could easily, if we get stuff right, play well, we could easily get a win. So on current form, the bookies are probably right in positions 1 to 3. In 4 to 6, I think the bookies are wrong, because I honestly think Italy are better than Wales currently. Right now, they absolutely are. And as Shane has said, they have made such improvements over the last few seasons, and have beaten Wales numerous times in the last 3 or 4 tournaments. So I would be putting Italy finishing above Wales with the wooden spoon. All
right. Okay. Thanks, Matt. Dara, would you agree with what has been said so far?
I don't know if I don't think anybody will get a wooden spoon this year. I think everybody has a win in them. So I do agree. So obviously Italy's always been kind of my second Six Nations team, because my brother and sister live over there. So I think Italy have come on so much in recent years. I mean, they've basically beaten every other team at some stage in the Six Nations. So I think now, while I wouldn't go over the top like Rassi did, where he said when after the Springboks played Italy, he said they were going to finish second or third in the Six Nations. I don't think it'd go that high, but I definitely could see them fourth or fifth. I think Wales. I mean, you wouldn't know. The Welsh teams are doing on paper. Wales look the weakest team, but then the Welsh teams have been doing quite good recently in competitions. So if they bring
they have their sorry, Derek, they have their behind the scenes issues in the WRU, as is well publicised.
Oh yeah, and I mean, you could say that the teams are essentially the teams are fighting for their lives because it's 4 going into 3. So every Welsh team wants to get the best result each match because they want to justify their existence and not be the team that's culled. As Matt said, the French, they, I mean, having them in the first game is probably no harm. And as everybody said, the English are very strong. I mean, they've a good series of wins behind them. Mind you, they had a lot of losses before that, but I think they definitely turned the corner and probably carry on being dominant.
England have 11 straight wins now, haven't they?
Yeah. So I would say, I mean, I'm hoping, we can be up there second or third.
I think
I don't think anybody will get the Grand Slam this year. I think everybody's fairly strong. So I
would tend to agree with you, Darius. Absolutely. Just a few comments coming in. Bevan, evening all. Hope you're well. Bishop Len, evening folks. Thursday's games not conducive to Six Nations scoops. Yeah, all right. Thanks, Bishop. Yeah, very good. Bevan Marie, Byrne Jackman has said Faz is doing a 180 and picking less Leinster players. Don't know how true that will be though. Shane, any thoughts on that? Faz picking less Leinster?
No, but he, you've got to think that he will always pick the people who he thinks are going to be in the position and do the best for what he wants. He doesn't care, and the personality that he has, yes, there's synchronicity with having a lot of players from one team. There's certainly certain advantages to that, but Leinster have, they've been coughing and spluttering a lot of way through this season, and listen, we all hope that means that we'll get it right towards the end, the exact opposite of what we have been doing for the last while. But, at the moment, running into Six Nations, no, it's wide open. It's something that I think he'll pick form players, and it might not necessarily be as high a representation of Leinster players, as it has been previously. And, if that is the way it is, that's correct.
But I think Shane, and I think a lot of people in our group would agree with what you just said. I think having so many Leinster players in the national squad is not necessarily a good thing. Now, if you're picking on form, fair enough. And yes, over the past 2-3 years of Faz picking the national squad, the 23 to 36 or whatever the hell you want number you want to put on it. Okay, fair enough. But for a province, Leinster supporters don't like it because you've got injuries, you've got people out, you've got central contracts, you've got players that won't play in the Heineken Cup and the URC and blah, blah, blah. But then you go into the Six Nations and then you go on to whatever else. So maybe it's not a bad thing that less Leinster players, Shane, are picked.
Yeah, well, it depends what way you're looking at it. For the cohesion of the team, for Leinster itself, yeah, the less guys that are gone, the better, obviously. And but does that mean that Leinster aren't playing quite as well? So therefore, it's not as good. It depends how you read it. Look, guys are just going to be competing for it, right the way across. We want competition. We don't like seeing, results like what's happened with Munster and Connacht. We would prefer to see the likes of the Ulster results, things like that. More so, it'd be great if we had the provinces, all absolutely, in great form, and so that there's immense competition right the way through it. Because we have such a small player pool, it can only be as it was been led by one team, which traditionally is what happens in Ireland. It changes hands which the one team is, but it can only be led by one team, for so long. And it'd be great if there was a mixture and there was some serious competition right the way across it from the other provinces.
Yeah. Shane, just you reminded me there of something which I think is a really, really interesting point for people who might have missed your first appearance with us. And we were talking about, and it came up there, talked about the placements for the Six Nations. We were talking about the Welsh rugby setup, and you, Shane, made a really, really good point about the mistakes that the WRU made in setting up the four teams. And I'd love you to I'd love you to repeat that, because I think it's a great point that you made.
Yeah, no, the mistakes were made right at the very, very start. They tried to make the regions based around urban centres, and instead of it, naturally there were natural splits. And sure, like for instance, they forgot about the valleys, the Pontyprids, the Pontypools. Like they just completely ignored them. And that. So what happened was that you ended up having teams like the Ospreys and all who nobody really wanted to support them. The hotbed of Welsh rugby felt completely alienated, and there was no team that they particularly wanted to, because they were all the teams that they were trying to go against. Cardiff and Clonettley, they were all the teams that they were fighting against for years. There should have been one of the Ponties, for instance, should have just been picked on a 5,000 seater stadium built in the middle of a valley somewhere, and then all of those teams put together like that. That was the madness of what they did. So that's why they've ended up with, they have so few pay in the gate supporters. And that's the bedrock of all the professional games is bums on seats. Unfortunately, that's just the way it is. And that's why they started their attention went to just filling the Aviva or the Millennium Stadium, whatever the hell it's called now. Their attention, the Principality, their attention just went on that, and the Welsh Rugby Union essentially just concentrated on filling that stadium and getting that was their main cash cow, and they forgot about grassroots rugby, and they're paying for it now, unfortunately.
Yeah, no, very true. A good point, Shane. And I thought it was worth repeating for people who might have missed that the first time around. Claire Devaney, welcome back.
Thank you for getting me back in.
I didn't see it. I got a message there from Danny to say.
I know you did. Yeah, I know.
Any thoughts, Claire, on what we've all spoken about? Anything you want to?
I couldn't really hear what you were talking about because I was in the background.
Well, we were kind of talking about the Six Nations. I think you mentioned that before we lost you about the seedings.
Wales are going to win. Wales are going to win.
You're going to put your tenner on Wales.
I'm going to put my tenner on it. Yeah, no, it's in fairness, I'm only doing that as a gesture to a great Welsh man who passed away. I know. I agree with what Shane said in what Wales were doing. Wales are doing again, kind of that they're sticking to the international game, trying to fill the Principality and stuff. But Shane, question for you: do you think Ireland are doing the same now with the Aviva?
No, but because the problem is the Aviva isn't an 80,000 seater.
Yeah.
If it was an 80,000 seater, then you would be thinking about doing that, because then they'd be bringing in serious wedge. But unfortunately, it's unfair to say short-sightedness, because rugby wasn't where it is now. Like literally when they drew up the plans and they built the Aviva, rugby wasn't anything like what it is now. And literally as they put the last pane of glass in place on the Aviva, rugby shot off. If you think of that decade straight after the Aviva was built, my God, rugby just exploded. And immediately they knew you know,
we're in trouble here.
Stadium in the Six Nations, we mucked up. You know what I mean? Unfortunately, and we know the whole planning thing down the other end, and all of this with the what they weren't allowed build and stuff like that. But you know, that's really where it is. So no, I don't think it is. But the ticket pricing, as you're saying, is you know, I presume that's what you're alluding to, is bananas.
Right. Okay. Now.
Yes, sorry. I deviated off. Apologies, Peter. Apologies, Shane.
No. You're grand.
Peter, just while we're talking about the
Facebook stream has gone down.
Yeah, the Facebook stream's gone down. But
no, it's not because I have it here.
It's not. It's gone on Facebook. It's on YouTube still.
It's on YouTube.
What? Say that again.
No, we just said the Facebook stream has gone down, but we're live. We're live on YouTube. But Shane.
And Peter knows exactly what none of that means because he's so technical. He's so technical. He's there going, yeah, dial, hello.
But Shane,
sorry, you know I love you, Peter.
I know. Shane, now, we and everyone, Dara, Matt and Claire, you were talking about ticket prices. Now, I have them here in front of me. And I just think these are ridiculous. For our 3 home games, we have obviously Italy, Wales, and Scotland. For the Italian game, let's just go with the premium level, which is level 3 on the escalator side. Yeah, €170, Shane. For the Welsh game, 175. Wales are worth €5 more. Brilliant. And Scotland are worth a tenner more, Shane. They're 185 for the. Let's just go with the premium level.
Yeah.
I just think. Now, your man, the head honcho of the IRFU, what's it, Shane Nolan, or no, is that Leinster? Or I can't think. Anyway, his name escapes me. Came out and they justified the ticket prices, Shane. Would you any comment about this?
Yeah, well, look, you can't, like, all right, him coming out and justifying is probably the wrong thing to be doing. I think a bit of humility should have been shown and a bit of understanding to the ticket pricing and the issues that it is for the real rugby supporter, not so much for the corporate supporter. But, you know, again, we're back to which, you know, Claire had me alluding to there. We're suffering from the fact of we've such a small bloody stadium, you know, and that's a huge problem. Like we've 20, 30,000 seats that aren't there, bums on seats that should be paying money, that should be adding other zeros onto the income that we're getting. And unfortunately, we still have to pay the professional game. We still have to have the structures in place. And, you know, the European isn't the cash cow it used to be as well, the European competitions and things like that. And, you know, we need to make money where we can. So his justification, it's not incorrect. He is right in what he's saying because it is necessary to keep the game going and because we have the small stadium, but he probably should have phrased it differently. Let's just put it that way.
A bit. Yes,
should have been more politically correct when he was stating it.
Well, just a bit of understanding, to the real supporters, you know, because like it's even harder now for the supporters because the clubs, the tickets are distributed out through the clubs and that's how the clubs earn a bit of income as well. And as we all know, look, there's no issues with that. That's how everything goes. But the problem is that they reduce the amount of tickets that are, going to the clubs, but the clubs still need to earn the same amount of money. So therefore, we all know where those tickets have to go to earn that income, which means less tickets again for the grassroots supporter. So like, there's a big circle there that just, because it always makes sure the demand is extremely high. And therefore the costings they're there and they can charge him, and he is correct. He can get that money, and we need that money. It's Look, it's
Shane, would you pay 185 quid for a match ticket to go and watch Scotland?
I did last week. I just did. Yeah, you know what I mean. So like, like if you want to. if you want to be doing it, like that's it is what it is. Like, sure,
Okay.
I remember it's not that long ago. Was it when I was playing with? I think everyone was balking at when the ticket was 85 quid. I think people were like, "Oh my God, 85 quid!" And then when it went over the ton the first time, it was Jesus, Mary and Joseph.
Yeah.
Although
That's unfortunately where we are. Like, everything is getting more expensive, unfortunately, and like that's, and the demands on the RFU are there, and like while I understand it, it certainly doesn't make it any easier or better.
Yeah, and actually to I suppose to back up what you're saying, Shane, I saw a list of the profit and loss accounts for some of the English clubs, and this is what you're saying, Shane. Saracens lost 7.5 million last year. Sale Sharks lost 7 million. Bristol 4.8 million loss. Bath 3.6 million. It goes on. Leicester, Newcastle, Harlequins.
The thing with the English Premiership is, they're so into telling everybody that it's the flagship league in the world and everything like that. But unfortunately, the structures that it's built upon it's on matchsticks, and what part of the reason for that was that they created this spectacle via Sky initially and everything like that. Just go and look at all the razzmatazz and everything around the game. But unfortunately, they were completely successful in doing that. Everybody stayed at home and watched the game on Sky or went to the pub. They didn't come in the gate. And as we've talked about from the start of this, the base income of every club structure, every international structure is bums on seats. And that's unfortunately in England, they just don't get the crowds.
They're trying to do a whole rebrand.
Well, they're trying.
Rugby needs a rebrand, for God's sake. But anyway,
I know the Premiership are doing this whole new the Gallagher Prem, and it's like I do watch the Premiership, and you get all the ads where it's the Gallagher Prem, and it's this, and it's trying to make it really like so it can compete kind of with football or something. I don't know kind of what they're doing to be.
The problem is that they have the marketing quite wrong, because the razzmatazz keeps people watching it on telly.
Oh yeah,
if you're in the bar in the pub, the advertisement should be about get off your arse and get down to the stadium.
Yeah.
That's what the advertisement should be.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly.
I totally agree. And warm pies at halftime.
Creamy pints and all that sort of stuff. Yes. Matt Boland, would you pay 100? As I asked Shane, would you pay 185 quid to go and watch Scotland in the Aviva?
I'd be very hard pushed if I was to buy a ticket for that. I wouldn't be buying 2 tickets. I'd be buying 1 ticket. So, and I think that's more the reason why people are getting so upset about the cost of tickets going up. And let's face it. Look, everything is going up. There's nothing out there that's ever going to come down in price. Prices always go one way, and it's one way only. And unfortunately, in that scenario, modern income families can't afford, if they were massive rugby fans and years ago, if they were going maybe buying 2 or 3 tickets to go and see a game, and they were maybe spending 150 quid or whatever. Now, if you're looking at it for kind of 3 tickets, you're talking double or treble the amount. So it's just reducing each family to maybe going, right, we can't get 3 tickets, we'll get 2, or we used to buy 2 tickets, now we're only going to buy 1. And that's just the way it is. And as Shane rightly points out, like, the clubs make money from their tickets, and they always have, and it supports the clubs. And when they have to earn money, and especially with the likes of COVID and all that sort of stuff, where everyone lost money, they were trying to regain some, so they were selling them out, and of course the IRFU are losing money as well to a certain degree, and we're getting more corporates in, and that's just the way it is, whether we like it or not. And unfortunately, when that type of thing happens, you get the bad atmospheres. And like that post I put up in the group the other day about the atmosphere in Aviva being ranked 6th out of all of the nations in the 6 nations, and it's probably right in terms of you're getting so many corporate people going that are probably not really interested in rugby, but are just going for a day out, blah, blah, blah. And you're going to get it. We certainly don't have the answers to the questions of why the tickets are going so high and why can we get better price tickets and all. But at the end of the day, look, they have to make money. They have to be a business. You know, no business runs losing money. So whether we like it or not, it's just the way it is. And I think people just have to understand. But as somebody rightly pointed out earlier on, I don't know who it was, they should have been I think it was Shane, they should have just been a little more clever in what they said. You know, if they had explained it a little bit better and made people understand, then they'd probably go, oh, okay, fair enough. Didn't think of it like that, you know. So look, we're not going to solve the problem. I don't know what the story is, but if I wanted to go to a game, I'd probably go to one game only in the Six Nations. I wouldn't be going to 2 or 3 when there's 3 at home. Do you know what I mean? So
all right. So Claire, were you going to say something there?
I was going to say something. I think what people are more upset about is, right, they're looking at the IRFU are charging you this much for a ticket, and then the newspapers come out and go, the IRFU have spent 1.5 million buying 2 cottages at the back of the Aviva, and you're going, is that? Yeah, no, I know.
But we know
that's good value in that.
We know why they're doing that.
What?
We do know why they're doing that.
Oh yeah, no, I do. No, I do. Yes, I do. No, yes, I do.
Go on, Shane. Go on, Shane. Go on.
If they get enough of those houses, they can go for planning for completing the stadium.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
But the whole thing was the shadow being passed over those from making it double height.
A quick one, Darragh, before I ask you about the ticket prices. Shane, a quick one. How many seats do they need to add to the Aviva to make it viable, in your opinion? Like, if we think about it.
Your question's wrong, Peter. It's perfectly viable. It's viable for what it is. Like the entity, the entity itself is immensely profitable because it's built for the size it is. It's filled an awful lot of times, which is super. And so the entity that is, it's just we needed to be bigger. We needed to earn more. That's the thing. That's the difference. So, like, look what happened when the short amount of the time that we were over in Croke Park.
Yeah.
Like, the ticket prices went down and everybody could get a ticket. But that's the difference. We don't need to build an 83,000 seater, but 75, 70 even would go a long, long way to easing the burden. The price tickets might come down because they would be able to earn so much more, and the pressure would be off because they don't know how they're going to go. They have to, every opportunity that they get, they have to earn money, and that's the problem.
Right. Okay. Well, that's a fair point. Yes, absolutely. Yeah. Thanks, Shane. Okay. Darragh, before we move on to our next point, Darragh, your overall thoughts on the ticket pricing and,
Firstly, I'd like to join somebody in the comments in congratulating Matt on the fact that hopefully his missus isn't watching, because he's just revealed that he's bought 1 ticket. He's not buying a second ticket for the game.
I don't worry, we've already told her.
Kevin Potts is the CEO of the IRFU. He's there to make money, and the money goes down to the provinces. It feeds down to the provinces and the clubs. Playing devil's advocate, if they can charge that money and still fill the stadium, they're going to do it. As Shane said, the corporate, I've seen lads, when I've arrived late towards, near kickoff and matches, and you see 4 or 5 people having to lead a fella out of the Marion College over to the match because he's that pissed from the corporate hospitality. He's had a great time for his $3,000. And they pour them into the seats and enjoy the match. But, the thing is, and another thing with the ticket prices is that, as Matt said, you're picking and choosing one game to go to. So what a lot of the clubs are having to do now is they're having to do packages where you put in for like either an Italy and a Scotland game or a Wales and a Scotland game, and you're committing to buying 2 tickets because they know the Scottish is going to be the strongest seller, and the other 2 they might, and so they want to make sure they sell their allocation. So
Yeah.
You know, because the clubs don't want to be left with the tickets. I mean, I assume it's still the same, but it used to be the case that the clubs had to pay the IRFU up front for the tickets, and there was no refunds. There was no refunds if they didn't sell all their allocation.
That's correct.
No. What's more worrying in the Aviva is that there's now on the first floor. There's a place called Green Machine, which is a vegan hot food stand, and I spent 5 minutes queuing there at halftime last weekend.
Oh, it's just you giving it a bit your vegan.
No, looking for curry. They won't even sell curry chips because apparently curry sauce is not.
He was supposed to be meeting me at halftime, and I was like, hello.
You know, when vegan cafes start getting
no idea what the hell you're talking about there. Jesus.
You're dead right.
Shane, that we regularly just shoot off on these random.
Yeah, we end up going around the rabbit hole and down the rabbit hole, coming back out.
Okay. Anyway, Leonard, Matt breaking it gently to the missus. Yes, that she's going to the Six Nations match with him live.
She's not going.
She's not going.
She's not going. Okay. Joe Lyons, screwed. Okay. Niall, it was cheaper to go to Italy last year, find flights and accommodation, than it was to get 2 tickets for a home game.
I will agree with that. I went to the Italy game, Italy versus Ireland in Rome, but I also tagged on 3 days in Milan and 2 days in Rome, and it came in at the grand sum total of €600. That was like that, but that was me. That was a trip to Rome and to Milan, where it was costing me. Don't know what was costing me for tickets back home.
Okay, very good. Yeah. Thanks, Claire. Shane, moving on. Joey Carberry, allegedly, allegedly, Shane, coming back to
which province is he going to this week?
Shane, what, if there is any, what is the point of Joey Carberry going back to Leinster?
I wouldn't put it that way. Like, he's still a bloody good player. He's reinvented himself down in France. He's playing some great rugby, which is fantastic for the guy. I'd say if he could pick, he'd prefer to go back to Leinster. I would definitely say.
All right.
But does it make any sense? Does it? We've guys there who are competing very, very hard and it is still a competition for the number 10 slot. And obviously having 3 world-class 10s, top-class 10s, obviously is a great position for Leinster to be in, but does it make sense? No. Look, I obviously, from knowing with the talent that is around and the others, the sensible thing would be that he goes to Ulster. You would hope that there'd be some sort of interference ran by the IRFU with that. But listen, stranger things have happened. I'm sure he would prefer it would be Leinster if he could click his fingers. He wants to make a run, I would presume, for the last World Cup that he would technically be available for. And he is a quality player. Like, if anybody's been watching, he's been doing very well.
Yeah.
I've no doubt. And come here.
It's a good thing. It's just, where to go. It would be, I would.
No, I was going to say, Shane. Sorry to cut across you. I was going to say, Shane, that he is a quality player, but as you kind of alluded to it in your answer, I was going, look, what is the point of Joey Carberry going to Leinster? Whereas Ulster would be a better choice for him. That's the point, That's. I think he'd be mad to go back to Leinster. That's all. My point.
Yeah. Who would make the final decision on where he would go?
Well, it depends on the money involved in it. But you would think that the RFU would have a say. But like, if it's within a certain level, Leinster can almost pick themselves. But the fact is that the RFU are the bosses. They own. We're in the great position where we have the perfect professional structure that there's one. Ultimately, there's one boss, and then all the provinces are all semi-autonomous, running in the underneath. but the RFU are the boss. So ultimately, it's the RFU.
Is that David Humphreys, Shane?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Okay.
Yeah.
Claire, go on.
Yes.
You're on a roll there.
No, that was the question. Joey Carby. I don't think he should come back to Leinster. I think he should go to. I think Ulster or I was going to say Connacht, but Ulster or Connacht.
Okay. Matt Boland, Joey Carberry to Leinster or Ulster? As I think, and Shane said, I think Ulster will be a better fit for him.
Well, like he was in Leinster, then he went to Munster, and then he went to France. And let's be honest, he's done really well in France. A bit like Harry Byrne in his stint in England. He's actually really developed himself over there, and he's going to be coming back and really given the powers that be and Andy Farrell something to think about, which is great because we need that. But in terms of where he should go, I don't think he should go to Leinster. We've enough competition there. We've enough players there. With Kieran Frawley going to Connacht, it wouldn't make sense he'd go there either. The logical place for him to go would be Ulster, because where else? Like, he probably doesn't want to go back to Leinster or Munster because he's been there before. Do you know what I mean? And again,
he probably doesn't want to go back to Munster because he was injured so much.
It could be a case of whoever's going to pay him the most. Do you know? I
think his ambitions would be to get on the World Cup squad, guys. So, like,
that's very true.
Where he have the best chance, the best opportunity of doing that. And unfortunately, right now in Ireland, that's still Leinster.
Yeah.
And so, like, that's it. The personal side of it, you got to understand that. But still, to me, it wouldn't make sense, in a rugby sense. Not so much him. It would make total sense for him. He would, in his eyes, he would come over and take the position, which he could very well do. But from an Irish whole development, all the provinces, up north, please.
But Shane, if you look at the next, Dara, I'll come to you now. Just 1 second. But Shane, I want to hear your ideas on this. If you look at the next World Cup, right, 2027, and we're talking about Carberry, there is a plethora of 10s behind him. So is he going to be a full back, or is he going to be a 10, or where would you think Joey wants to fit into the Irish squad?
10.
Okay, so who?
10.
Okay,
but
so
think about it. But think about it. Look, I understand the question you're asking. Like, where does he fit in? But nobody has grabbed a 10 jersey by the scruff. No one's done that. Yeah. And that's the key. And they've all, they've had plenty of opportunities. And nobody, and each one of them, you could go, he's had a great game there, not so great there, but nobody has gone, no, that's my jersey.
Yeah.
And that's it. Yeah. And it's still completely up in the air. And so particularly for 27, it's completely up in the air. Completely. So he would see his route. He would come in wherever he ends up going and bringing a bit of that physicality, a bit of that, controlling a game as he has done it in France. And, he could end up being the man in the driver's seat.
I saw someone, Shane, on some other blog website thing, comparing Joey Carberry to Marcus Smith.
Right. Well, Jesus. Okay.
I know. Yeah.
No, but the one thing I don't think I think the memory is probably a bit misty going back to when he was with Leinster, and he was as Matt was saying, he was always injured in Munster, so we never really saw how good he was. He was a bloody good player. He
was very good, yeah.
And he had heaps of talent and a great read of the game. And he just kind of went into the wilderness through injuries and stuff like that. But over in France, he is doing very well. And if he comes back in wherever he goes, he'll be right in the mix again. So he'll keep the other guys on their toes, put it that way.
Was Richie Murphy the kicking coach then for Sexton and himself?
He would have been, wouldn't he?
Yeah. So he'd have that connection with Richie Murphy.
Familiarity there, yeah.
Absolutely. Dara, your thoughts on this? Joey Carberry to Leinster or Ulster or elsewhere? Where would you?
And his agent is working great gas at the moment. He's nearly going to a different province each week.
He is, yeah.
You know, Shane made a very good point. It is still very much a game of musical chairs for the 10 shirt. I mean, nobody has basically grabbed it and said, this is mine and holding on to it. Like, you know, after the Leinster game last week, I heard somebody on the way out saying, Jesus, Harry Byrne might be first choice 10 for the Six Nations.
Yeah, someone said that to me.
But sure, it's as light.
It's all so up in the air at the moment that, I mean, if he came to Leinster, he wouldn't consistently get the only place I think he'll get consistently game time at 10 is Ulster at the moment, because Frawley's going to Connacht. We already have Sam who'll be preferred for 10, and then Harry and Leinster, and then obviously there's Crowley, Jack down in Munster. So if he wants to get in and go for that Irish 10 shirt, he needs to be consistently playing 10. So I think the only place he'll get that would be Ulster if he goes there.
Shane, would you agree with Dara's assertions there?
Yeah, absolutely. But we know that that's the place where he would potentially get the most rugby, because there would have to be a rotational situation in place if he came to Leinster. It would have to be. And you know, and that would take, even if he did manage to grab by the scruff, and if it was him who put his foot forward, it would take half a season to do that.
Yes.
It would probably be into next season before that would actually happen. So, like, you know, it would. I don't know. Like, I think it'd be the right for him to go up to Ulster. I definitely think that would be the better way. But, like, you know, with my namesake going into Harry going into, like, at the moment the 10 shirt is up in the air, and he knows that. So, you know, having a go at it, it's just, will he get the best opportunity out of Ulster? If Ulster were starting to win games regularly, I'd say this would be a far easier decision for him.
Okay, all right, good point, Shane. Just some comments.
Yeah, absolutely.
Go on, yeah. Bev Amory, what's the point in him going to Leinster? They shoved Kieran Frawley to the bench for most matches, which in the end has made him leave to go to Connacht. Bishop Len, do I have to? No, that's sorry, that's Bev's. Bishop, where? Oh, this is after coming up. Sorry, where's Len's comment? Sorry. I agree, Bev. I hope Frawley is starting 10, but you know how the rumour mill works. Let me just see here. Sorry. Yeah. Good point, Bev. Rumour has it Lancaster wants Frawley at full back. I don't know. I think Frawley is going to Connacht for 10. Yeah. At full back, and Joey might be starting 20.
Didn't Frawley play though this year, didn't he? In Leinster.
Sorry, Claire?
Was sure Lancaster coach when Frawley came through?
No, because Frawley didn't come through academy. He came from, wasn't it Skerries or Rush?
Yeah, he came from Skerries, yeah. But was Stuart Lancaster gone when Frawley broke into the Leinster team?
I don't know.
Maybe
I don't think he was.
Maybe he was there.
Very large, yes.
Might have been a small overlap.
Probably only briefly. Like, Lancaster's gone about 4 years now, isn't he?
Yeah, I think so, yeah.
Shane Byrne, moving on. Shane, the Heineken Cup has currently 24 teams in it, which is, according to a lot of folks, bloated. It should be cut in half, down to 12. The Heineken Cup is really, for me, and for a lot of people I talk to about the Heineken Cup, if we look back to Sky Sports and, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10, 15 years ago, when the Heineken Cup games were coming on, it was always a joy to watch. But the 24 team situation now has just, the home and away fixture and all, it's just, should we bring it back to 12?
Yeah, it's a pain in the butt, to tell you the truth.
Yes.
No, it's not working. Unfortunately, ever since it was the English and the French came in, and like, what other sport is the European Cup final not the last game of the season?
Yes.
You have your domestic competition on after the European Cup. Like, that just doesn't happen. And that was again what we were talking about, the English thinking it's the best league in the planet. And we know the way the French are obsessed with the top 14 as well, but they demoted it then, and then they broke up, and like all of that was, part of that was because of the Irish provinces ruling the roost for, you could say, a decade there, and they just wanted to break that cycle. Now, it didn't work for a while, but it's certainly, you see, they never had the mass support that we had over here about it, and they never really did that, and it was only the handful of clubs really got into it, and it's the same with France, and it's probably still the same, you could say, with the two leagues, that there's a handful of them on both sides, and you could name them, who take it very seriously because they understand the advantages of taking it seriously, where the other side, you have some ridiculous scenarios where they don't take it seriously when you have such a huge amount of teams in the competition. But it's also the stupid bloody way that they have, the league and the way it's sorted out. And like, basically what happens is people just don't tune into how it's getting on. They watch the matches and everything like that, but they're not really tuned in. Whereas originally, back in the day, everybody knew who was coming next. Everyone knew the home and away fixtures. Everybody was aware of that. And, we knew it all change. And, the reasoning behind why they changed that was just daft. And they've ended up with a bloody daft way of doing it.
But what was the reasoning, Shane? According to you, in your opinion, what was the reasoning for changing the format?
Well, I told you earlier on, like, I wasn't. No, but hang on, I wasn't messing when it was that the English, in particular the English, were breaking up the Irish provinces' dominance in the European Cup, and they wanted to mess it up, and they wanted to change it, and they wanted to demote the European Cup and put there, as I said, the finals are on after the European, which is nuts, and they just, and then the bigger what would be told out is that, we would need to spread it out and get more teams in and things like that. But no, it hasn't worked. Sure, like, we all remember the peak of it, and traveling all over the place, going to fantastic games, and where you used to go, when it was a smaller, tighter group, there were far less teams and far less opportunities of donkey or teams putting out a donkey set of players, whereas in nearly every round group stage now, you're getting that. You're getting more than a handful of ridiculous results. And that's not, and because the way it's the leagues now, that has huge effect on positioning right throughout. If one team doesn't put in, they get the bonus point, they get the foreign away points, they get all of the advantages of it, just because the side couldn't be arsed putting a team out because they're concentrating on the top 14.
On their own league, Shane.
Correct. Yeah.
Particularly the French.
And it seems.
Sorry, Claire, just one sec. Dara Weston, reducing the Heineken Cup from 24 down to 12, as I've asked Shane, I think that's a great idea.
It is, but it won't happen now because the EPCR is owned by the English, French, Irish, Welsh, Italian, Scottish, and South African clubs. They all have their stake in it. So nobody's going to vote. Nobody's going to vote themselves out. Like, I mean, as it is, there's, I think, 8 teams from the Premiership in it. I mean, Jesus,
10,
they're lucky.
10, I think.
I know.
I think it's 8. I think it's 8 from the Premiership, but there's only about 12 in the Premiership. And then if you look at teams that are actually not bankrupt, there's probably only about 5 or 6. So look, definitely. I mean, I was looking earlier today. I think the top 5 players, or the top 5 players with more than 100 caps are all Irish. So that goes back to what Shane said about the dominance we have. Like, I mean, you've Keane Healy, you've Stringer, you've Raj. I think Cole Hayes is in there, and Gordon Darcy. I'm not sure if Bod had over 100. I'm not sure if he had over 100 Heineken appearances.
Oh, Heineken! Sorry, I beg your pardon.
Yeah, Heineken appearances. Well, European Cup appearances, Heineken.
Yeah.
Investec Champions Cup.
Yeah, whatever. Yeah. Sorry, go on, Darragh. Go on.
And then Strings got over the 100 because he has like Munster, Saracens, Sale, Bath, I think. So he played for 4 clubs in there, but obviously the majority of his were with Munster.
Okay, Matt. Sorry, Darragh. Excuse me. Are you finished your point? I just yeah. Okay. Sorry. Just comments, Matt. Before I come to you. Bishop Lane, I agree, Bev. Hope Frawley is the start. Yeah, okay, we got that. Hold on. A lot of these comments are repeating themselves for some reason.
Yeah, because they're having a chat between themselves in the comments. That's why.
Spot on, Joe. As Shane said, the French and English made a balls of it. There you go. Neil McKeown, 16 sides, 4 pools of 4 home and away games. Had the calendar would have to change, and the French would say none. Yeah, I think that you kind of said that, Shane. You kind of alluded to that. Okay, all right, Matt. The Heineken Cup set up 24 teams down to 12. What would you make of that? I think it's a good thing, as Shane said, as Claire said, as Darragh said. I think they should do it, but they won't.
No,
yeah. Well, I mean, the last setup was brilliant, where you had like the away game and then the home game back to back. That was class. It was. I used to love that, because going to Viva, going to RDS or whatever, and knowing you'd either come back from an away game or they were going to the away, that was always fucking brilliant crack. And I do think they should reduce it. But if you look at it now, 24 teams, you've got 8 from the top 14, 8 from the Premiership, and I think is it probably maybe 4 or 6 probably from the URC, and then whatever.
I think there's 6 from the URC, and then the Safas have. And then Safas have 4 teams. They're guaranteed, I think, 4. The Italians get 2, and
so there you go. Like, I mean, but like, the English and the French had to say over it. They kind of messed it up, but I think that the 16 have 4 pools of 4 in that kind of scenario.
The problem is, guys, as Darragh said, it'll never happen, because
of course,
they're all got a vested interest in it. So it'll never be reduced, but the way they get through the pools could be done completely different.
Absolutely,
you could go back to many different pools. Then yes, you have to have stages, the knockout stages, but you could have several different and bring back the home and away fixtures. You know what I mean? You could bring that back in with a tighter pool. Pool A has 4 or 5 whatever teams in it. And you just have a cluster. And then, yes, you would have several different, knockout stages. But there you go,
Yeah. How are you, Lorna? How are you? Good to see you.
Sorry. That's why I said, yes, Lorna, I am back. So just the point I was just trying to make for Basildon, you can win your 2 home games in this Investec Champions Heineken Cup, whatever it's called, and still get through, which means most of them are just concentrating on the home games. They're not caring about the away games. Whereas the way it used to be run, you needed to win. You definitely needed to win your home games, and you had to target winning an away game as well. Pick up points away.
That's what you were saying. That's what you were saying, Shane, about teams traveling and not fielding their number ones. Okay. Yeah.
Queens against Leinster a couple of weeks ago. It wasn't.
Fair enough. Yeah. Come here, Shane. Just a quick talk before we move on to the games that are coming up this weekend. I'm aware we are approaching the hour mark. Excuse me. The Six Nations, Shane, is moving in the UK to Premier Sports. I don't know him. I'm aware of him. He's been a guest on our show before. I've spoken to him about 1 or 2 things in the past. Royal Nugent, the head of Premier Sports. I don't like the. I'm just going to throw it out there. I don't like the fact that Premier Sports has the rights to the Six Nations. Now, there is a government rule law in this country that there are certain sporting events that are free to air. The Six Nations being one of them.
Not the issue over here.
Yeah. So, is this a start of a slippery slope when probably one of the premier, if not the premier, European rugby championship, the Heineken Cup, leave it. The URC, leave it. The Six Nations is a premier.
Yeah, no, I'd agree that it's a pity. It's a pity. Like it's you could use this word for it. It's a grassroots tournament. It just feels that it should always be available for everybody, and it should be in every TV screen that there is anywhere. It should be available on it, and it's a pity. Unfortunately, it's to do mainly with BBC's drastic lack of money that they now have, and the attention that's on them, and they not been able to partner up with ITV again about it, and all the self-inflicted bull that BBC have come out with recently. It's no wonder that they're in trouble. But it is a pity. It is a pity. It'd be great if there was some way that could be rescued, or some support given to ITV that they take total rights on it, or something like that. But not a fan of it going behind the paywall. Not a fan.
I would totally agree.
Was it a slippery slope? Sorry, where it started with Sky Sports taking the England home games in the Six Nations.
Yeah.
At one stage, they had them. So if Ireland were playing in Twickenham, you had to go to the pub to watch it, or have Sky Sports at home. And then for a couple of years, Amazon had the England games, and I think they might have had the Welsh games as well.
Discovery has them now.
But Premier actually only have 5 games this season, and none of the Irish games. They've won each round. They've two Welsh, 2 Scottish, and 1 Italian, I think.
That's correct. Matt Boland, this whole, as I've asked Shane and Dara has answered, the Six Nations just really cannot be allowed to go behind the paywall.
Yeah, look, I would hate to see it go behind the paywall. I really would, because not only some of the genuine, real rugby fans getting priced out of not being able to go, they don't want to be priced out of not even being able to fucking watch it as well. Like, it's just madness. And I think what we've had for the last how many years of the Six Nations, even going back to the Five Nations, was being able to watch it on RTE or whoever, at home, no problem, without having to fucking pay a Sky Sports subscription or Premier Sports or whatever it is. I think it's a bad idea as well. I really do.
All right. Okay, Claire, before I come to you about this, and then we go on to our games coming up next weekend, we have Joe Lyons' problem with 4 pools of 4 is lose a game and you could be toast to the French teams. Wouldn't buy in if you had 2 pools of 5 playing home and away. It makes competitive even on a lose. Okay, all right, okay, fair enough. Bishop Lane, can we not all just agree to continue the Heineken Cup for fuck's sake? All right. Neil McKeown, Premier Sports have the 5 BBC games. ITV have 10 to 15 games. All right. I presume that the Six Nations you're talking about, Neil. Yeah. Okay. Claire.
Yes.
But before we go on to the upcoming games and your predictions, the Six Nations going behind the paywall, good, bad, and different. I suspect it's bad. It's bad.
It's okay. It's bad for rugby supporters. It's bad for getting people involved in rugby. But as Shane said, money talks. They're getting money for it.
All right. Okay.
Let's be honest. Right. Premier are going to be paying for the games. They're not paying for nothing. It should always stay on free tier or whatever it's called, terrestrial TV, whatever, RTE Network 2, TV3.
In Ireland, yes, and Virgin and
whatever. Yeah.
Okay,
in an
all right.
ideal world, we would have cloned Bill McLaren as well, and he'd still be doing the commentating.
Well, there you go. Bill McLaren.
Yeah.
That's it. Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
folks, we are over the hour mark. We are going to finish the show
as
on
usual.
Your predictions for the upcoming games this weekend. Shane Byrne, I will leave you last on this. You can lead us out. So, Matt Boland, I'm coming to you first. Your win, lose, or draw predictions. We have Leinster versus La Rochelle.
I'm going to go with Leinster.
Is that because you're a Leinster supporter, Matt?
Obviously, I'm a Leinster supporter, but I'm going to go with Leinster because they're my team, and I'm not going to back against them. But look, it's going to be. I think it could be a very tight game. There's history between these two clubs. La Rochelle being the better of the two teams in the last, especially in the finals. Leinster beating them last year in the quarterfinals. Look, they're quite evenly matched, but Rog is a wily little shite. He's got tricks up his sleeve, and you can never discount La Rochelle. But look, I'm going to go with a Leinster win. It's going to be a very, very tight game, very narrow win.
And I see that the walking fridge, Will Skelton, has been added to
of course he has.
La Rochelle's plan. Yes,
of course he has.
Yes.
Surprisingly enough.
Surprisingly enough, yes. Okay, Matt, Toulon are entertaining Munster.
Oh, do you know that's a good game. That's going to be a very good game, I'd say. Toulon at home. The fact that Toulon got hockeyed by La Rochelle last weekend.
Yeah, but they sent their third string team. There was only one first team player on that team.
You asked me, Claire, no?
Yeah, all right, Claire. Calm down, will you? Go on, Matt.
I'm just saying.
I know. We know. We've talked about this before, but I'm just saying, whether it's a third team or a second team, it's mentality as well, and they got embarrassed last weekend, regardless of being a third string team.
Oh, just give us a bloody winner, will you? Be here all fucking night. Go on.
Munster. I'm going to go with Munster away.
Right, great job. Okay, Montpellier are playing Connacht.
That's going to be a very tough game. Where's that now? Is that Connacht at home?
Montpellier, the first team is
all away. They're all away.
Montpellier are playing Connacht, yes.
Yeah, I don't know. I think Montpellier might pip that one.
Okay, and Cheetahs are entertaining Ulster.
Ulster.
All right, okay. Dara Weston. Thanks, Matt. Dara Weston. Leinster v La Rochelle.
Leinster, because La Rochelle's last 5 games have been win, loss, win, loss, win. So they're due a loss now.
That is great. That is fantastic rationale, Dara. Well done. Okay.
It's scientific.
All right. Dara, now, would you ever stop with the contractual obligation you have with your missus, right? Because, now, Shane, I say this because Dara...
A, she's from Munster. B, she's a lawyer. C, her family are all from Cork. I can't afford to get divorced, Peter. I have to support and say Munster are going to win matches.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Montpellier. Okay, Dara, Montpellier are playing Connacht.
I think it'll be... look, I'd like to see Connacht. Obviously, I'd love to see the Irish provinces win, so I'd say Connacht.
All right. Okay, and finally, Cheetahs are playing Ulster.
Ulster have been on a good string of matches now. Depends what strength of a team they're sending down, but hopefully Ulster.
Okay. Thanks, Dara. Thanks, Matt. Claire, to you, Leinster v La Rochelle.
Leinster.
All right. Toulon versus Munster.
Toulon.
Ooh, okay. Montpellier versus Connacht.
Montpellier.
All right. And Cheetahs versus Ulster.
Ulster, if they get there. And the reason I'm saying that is they're playing in Amsterdam.
Yeah.
And Amsterdam Airport is like, and it's the same with France with La Rochelle getting here. Amsterdam Airport has been short, and there's very few flights getting in and out.
Right,
and they're due to play Saturday night, aren't they?
All right. Yeah. Exactly.
No, the reason I'm saying is if they're due to be travelling kind of tomorrow, whether they get there would be the question. I will say Ulster if they get there.
Yeah. Okay. No, I'd say actually, Claire, they're probably going today. I'd say, would they be?
They're not. Amsterdam closed today. Amsterdam airport didn't let any flights in today.
All right. Okay. I see. Okay.
Yeah,
All right, folks.
of the weather.
All right. Thanks, Claire. Okay, Shane. To you, the last voice on the show this evening. Oh, by the way, Shane, just if you stay 1 or 2 minutes after we cut off this, I'll have a chat with you about something. Right, Leinster v La Rochelle, Shane.
I'm of the opinion that as the season goes on, Leinster hopefully are going to get better, which is the complete flip-flop of all seasons for the last decade. So I am continuing with that line. So I think even with Skelton coming back, which will certainly add to their threat, but I think Leinster are going to win this game. Yeah.
All right. Okay. Toulon, Shane versus Munster.
Yeah, a game that shouldn't be won. Toulon are going reasonably well. I think they're 5th in the top 14 at the moment.
Yeah.
There'll be a stinging tail from them, but the only caveat I'd say it should be Toulon. The only caveat is Munster needs some sort of something to wake them up and to get them going. And they always have the ability, as we all know, Munster have the ability to go down and have a fantastic win down in France. We've seen them do it so many times, as many as any other side has done. So I'm going to hope for a Munster win down there.
All right. Okay. Thanks, Shane. And finally, Shane, Cheetahs are entertaining Ulster.
Yeah, well, drafting out in Amsterdam, Ulster need to. The biggest flaw that they have is after every big win they have, they play shit. And, they just need to string games together, and that is the biggest flaw they have had for forever. And hopefully they can start doing that now, and they do manage to get a big win over there in Amsterdam.
All right.
And don't forget Connacht as well.
Yeah.
I did.
Yeah. No, he didn't.
Sorry, Shane. Montpellier against Connacht. Sorry.
Unfortunately, I think Connacht are just. This is the biggest problem they have. They have injury worries, and this is one thing that he's going to find over there is that it's thin on the ground over there. It's going to take a bit of time to build up that squad. So I unfortunately I don't think Connacht are going to win that one, which is a bugger. But there you go.
Yeah. Okay. So we're kind of leaning towards Leinster, Munster, Cheetahs, Montpellier as a group.
No, Ulster.
No.
Ulster.
You didn't listen to a word we said, Peter, apparently.
No.
That's nothing unusual, Shane.
He doesn't even write it down, Shane. He only pretends to write it down.
Not one of us named the Cheetahs to win. Not one of us, unless the voice in your head did, Peter.
All right. Okay. Anyway. Excuse me. Right. Now, that is all we have time for. We are 1 minute, an hour and 13 minutes over time. Folks, thank you very much for watching. Thank you very much for all your comments. Thank you very much for our guests, part of the crew here, Matt Boland, Darragh Weston, Claire Devney, and, of course, our special guest. He is no stranger to to our show here, Shane Byrne. Thank you very much indeed, and we will talk with you after we end the stream. But folks, thanks a million. Enjoy the rest of your evening, and good luck and good night. Take care.
Bye.